Alright, we are on the draw here. Match 5 of this league with Chart and Shoal Delver, and is this hand to keep? Excuse me, I feel like it isn't, but I mean, it's close. It's definitely close. Vapor Snag, not very versatile, so that's a knock against it. Visions and Delver, excellent. 4 lands a little rough. I could live with Vapor Snag probably if one of these was something better. And I might be willing to take 4 lands if this was really good, but I feel like when you have 4 lands, it's just an easy mull. This hand's better, although it's really not great. I do think it's a keep. Spell Snare's great, so's Denial. The opponent kept 6. We're going to do the same. Let's scry something good. Okay, so we put that on the bottom. Now we're going to scry into the best card we could possibly have for whatever this matchup is. Alright, Affinity. Whoo boy. Do I want to bolt Memnite? I mean, there's like a I don't want to say 0% chance we want to bolt Memnite, but it's pretty low, right? They did mulligan. So this Springleaf Drum might be a very bad card, but I feel like you would go for that kind of play if your own hand was garbage. Sort of, I haven't mentioned this for a while, but high variance plays. Okay. A while ago, probably over a year, I was watching SCG coverage of Modern, and it was an Obzon player playing against a Noble Hierarch deck. And the Obzon guy was on the play, but he mulled down to like 4. So he was way behind. He goes land, the opponent goes land Hierarch, and then he plays another land and abrupt decays the Hierarch. So he had a low chance of winning from that position. Do we want to snare this or bolt it? We're going to end step bolt. The Obzon player had a low chance of winning that match. Double green or triple blue, double green. They had a low chance of winning that match just based on the position they were in. So they decided, I'm going to put myself in a bad tempo spot, trading 2 mana for 1 mana, never good. But, oh, tilt. Tilt. We can't go Visions, hold up blue spell. Tilt. Go to the opponent. So they decided they're going to win the percentage of games where the opponent kept a really land-light hand, such that they take out the Hierarch and the opponent's just finished. Because sometimes Mana Dork decks do things like that. Okay, second Ravager's pretty good. So, the reason to take out Memnite there would be your hand is very bad, and you're just really hoping that the opponent's hand was extremely reliant on Memnite allowing their Springleaf Drum to tap for mana. In our case, our hand was significantly better than that, but if we had a really bad hand, or the opponent had mulliganed a little lower, and we didn't expect them to have more lands or cheap creatures, then that's possibly a high variance line we could take. I say high variance because it can be extraordinarily good, or it can be atrociously bad. We probably don't need the Steam Vents, and I feel like the Disrupting Shoal's not fantastic at this point. So I'm going to bottom that as well. I think instead of holding up Stubborn Denial, I'm just going to go for Mandrills here. How good's the Delver? I mean, that's not bad. I'd rather have removal, but it is good. It is certainly good. So bolting the Memnite, just to overview, because I've interrupted myself probably at least 3 times already trying to talk about this. It's really hard to talk about theory and narrate matches at the same time. So, the reason to bolt the Memnite there would have been we expect the opponent to not be able to do much if they have the Memnite. Sorry, if they don't have the Memnite. And if they do have the Memnite, we're in a terrible spot. So we just hope that they're in a position where them not having the Memnite could maybe let us win. We're going to play Delver. Do I want to chart a course here? Probably should have chart a course before playing Delver if I wanted to do it. Holding up Denial is certainly relevant, so I think that's what we're going to do here. Just going to pass. So yeah, don't think we bolt the Memnite there. Do we counter that? So this has power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control, and they can animate this to make it a 5/5 already. So countering this might not even be that great. It's also another thing that can sack to this, though. This is tricky. So we can't block the Master. I mean, we can slow them down ever so slightly. That's something. There's value in that. They're going to animate that. Yep, that's a 5/5 anyways. Over here is what we really care about, and we're going to take some damage. Now, we could double block the Master if they make this attack. Looks like they're deciding to not make that attack. Yeah, I think that's a lot safer from the opponent's perspective. If we double block this, or we block and have a bolt, we can blow them out. At least somewhat. That we're going to take. Let's hope Delver transforms off of something amazing. What amazing spell do we want to draw here? Not that one. Swinging is very bad because they can still animate this to make this a 5/5, so I believe it's just going to be Chart. We could fetch shock for a red source. We could also fetch shock for a blue source. Same amount of damage, so which are we more likely to draw and need? I think it's the red source. So I'm going to tap the blue one. Let's draw a couple. Discard that. We could play this, fetch, and slam a second Mandrills, which isn't the worst. We definitely play it. The question is, do I want Delver Scry? I think I'd rather have the Hooting Mandrills. Secure our board a little more. Does mean we have to tap out. But I think it's worth it. The nice thing about Master of Ethereum and Arcbound Ravager, Master's power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts they have, and in order to grow something, such as a Master of Ethereum, with the Arcbound Ravager, they have to sacrifice artifacts, which means they can't actually make the Master any bigger with the Ravager. If they sack the Ravager to put one counter on it, it becomes a 3/3 and then a 4/4. If they sack something to the Ravager and then sack the Ravager, 2/2, 4/4. 1/1, 4/4. They had a Blink Moth Nexus, which is extremely good for them. We're going to take 2, go down to 9. Oh, we're going to take 3, go to 8. They're going to grow it with the other Blink Moth. That's very relevant. Arcbound Ravager also going to be very important soon, because this is a battle that will be fought in the skies. Second Delver, not very good. What can we find? Okay. Discard Mandrills, play out thing that gives us Delver Scry, I think. Yeah. I think that's the line we're going to take here. Having the Mandrills won't do much for us, so I think I'd rather have the other Delver. And the way to scry. Even though scrying is going to cost us life, we lose to Galv Blast. Also plating. Also lose to plating. Do we? I don't actually know. Is that an 8? Yeah, because they animate the Nexus as well. That's right. That'll do. We are dead. Oh, this is our second match against Affinity in this league. Well, that one was certainly more tame than the first. Let's sideboard against Affinity. This should be fun. Two Mandrill's gonna come out. Didn't do much that game. As you might have noticed, Mandrill's isn't actually that great against Affinity. One Chart, of course, going to come out. We're going to keep the Miser's copy because I do want to see how it goes. Simic Charm also going to come out. Those are both cards I kind of want to keep, but I don't because I need room for the really good cards we're boarding in. Two Stubborn Denial coming out. Not that great. Ceremonious Rejection. Dismember stays gone. I want Artifact Destruction. I want Sweepers. I want Huntmaster. More Artifact Destruction. More Artifact Destruction and Sweepers. And a Mountain. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is correct. Alright. So I'm pretty sure I did this last time. I'm going to do it again. I'd like to try to work some more of these into the post-board plan. I want more cards that cost 2 and happen to be blue, because those pitch to Shoal very nicely, countering Arcbound Ravager, Steel Overseer, Cranial Plating, very good cards out of the Affinity deck. I don't need to have the second Stubborn Denial, but I'd kind of like it if it could fit. And Chart, of course, Simic Charm. They're both just decent. Simic Charm can give my dudes Hexproof, which isn't bad. +3/+3 is relevant when we get into turning the corner. And bouncing a creature, if they're going big on Arcbound Ravager, certainly good. I think Perilous Voyage outranks it ever so slightly, because the +3/+3 mode isn't that likely to be good anytime in the early game, since usually we're on the back foot against them. Being able to bounce a Cranial Plating seems extraordinarily relevant. And the Hexproof mode just doesn't come up that often. Chart, of course, is just something I want to play as much as we can. So what are the bad cards here? I feel like everything I brought in is better than those. Shoal's gonna stay. I don't really want to go below 14 creatures. I don't feel like I can cut these Snapcaster Mages with any degree of sanity. Maybe Mana Leak gets cut on the draw, but that doesn't make any sense because it's also a 2 CMC blue spell, and it's probably more useful than these two on the draw. Vapor Snag's probably better than Simic Charm. Spell Snare's really good. I want all the Bolt effects. Maybe you cut a number of Baubles, but I don't think I want to go ahead and cut Baubles. We're going to be on the play. Alright. It's a risky hand. It could also be extraordinarily good. I'm going to run it. Maybe I shouldn't, but you know what? I probably don't keep enough hands that have land bauble. So let's do. We're going to grab a Steam Vent because it lets us cast. Well, I guess the Sweeper's not that relevant, so maybe I just get a Breeding Pool. But we might draw into a Bolt effect. Think I'd rather have this. We're going to play out the Delver of Secrets. If we have to, we will Shoal a 1 CMC spell pitching the Spell Snare, but I don't want to. I'd like to be able to fall back on Spell Snare next turn if I could. If we draw lands, this hand's great. If we don't, it's less great. Can't Shoal that. Do they have enough artifacts? Can't Shoal that. One more. Can you do it? Oh yeah, Vault Scourge. Can't counter it. Nice. Oh, they just don't have any more 1 CMC things to do. Alright, we're going to bubble us. See if we can't get somebody to transform. Looks like we can. Bobble Trigger's going to hit the stack first. Delver Trigger resolves. I'd like to show the opponent a Serum Visions. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There we go. Visions. Draw a couple cards. Hopefully hit a land. Do. Oh, that's actually going to be fantastic once we do hit a land. Snare or go big? Snare or go big. Don't think we attack with the aberration here. Although I do kind of want to. I really want to be able to have Spell Snare up next turn. I also really want to cast this Serum Visions. We could shoal a 2 CMC spell if we draw a land, sorry, a 2 CMC spell that's blue off of this Vision. So that's added benefit to playing the Visions. If we get a blue source, we can Snare. If we get a 2 CMC blue card, we can shoal. That's not bad. Really would like to cast this. I'm going to do it. Think I'd rather take the turn off and hit land drops. Don't know if that's good. We're in uncharted waters here, keeping that 7 and then making these plays. These are not things I'm used to. That's a Galv Blast. I'm kind of willing to fight over that. Basically means we can't interact with their next stuff. But I'm kind of willing to fight over that. What do we got? Alright. Alright. So, because this bauble isn't a Gitaxian probe, we can't play this land right away. Which means if we want both of these, the order doesn't actually matter, except Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize matters. They play a non-zero amount of Thoughtseize. Let's cast this, and I actually kind of want to attack here. If they have a land and plating, they can play and equip it, hitting us for a lot. But I kind of want to get in for 3 here for the scenarios where they don't just have something like that. Alright, well, we're taking damage. Yup, they're going to gain life. That's alright. That's going to happen. Yes. Yes. Take a look at their top card. What do we got? It's another plating. Okay. Wow. That's really good, sir. That's really good. Alright, we're not going to swing with the aberration. It's okay. We can deal with it. So, I feel like we counter this one. Is Ancient Grudge better than Rejection? Technically, Rejection can hit Etch Champion. So I think I'm actually going to save the Rejection for Champion and use the Ancient Grudge to take out the 2 platings. They're going to do that. That's fine, because we're going to blow up that plating on the Ornithopter and just block the Vault Scourge. Fetch. I kind of want to get a basic forest to conserve my life total a bit more. It helps that we can cast this for green later. We could just eat the Ornithopter, but that seems a lot worse than... taking 5 seems a lot worse than that. So I think I'd rather trade. Untap. Mountain. That means we can play Tarmogoyf and hold up Rejection, which is good. We don't have Ancient Grudge up anymore, which might have been bad, but unless they have 2 Welding Jars, we could always counter the first one. Steel Overseer, probably not a concern now that we have Kozilek's Return online, so I think I'm just going to let that happen. They're going to put the plating on the Ornithopter. We're going to take 4. Wonder if we should have held up the forest instead, or possibly taken 2 to shock and have better mana. That might have been the real play. So we now have Rejection and Kozilek's Return up. What I want to do is get them. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to take out these 2 because I want more. I am going to be a little bit greedy. Possibly greedier than I should be. Chances are, though, they're going to want to get more artifacts animated or at least on board before they use that Overseer, though. Okay. That's alright. Yep. They're going to swing. Oh. Oh dear. I made a terrible mistake. I should have done this before they had Overseer available. They don't have to go for lethal. I messed up, guys. I messed up big. Oh, I could have blown up the plating. I messed up extraordinarily big. Sorry about that. Ah, what a punt. We just gave up 6 life for no reason. 6 life. Not one reason. In response to that, we're going to do this. Well, at least the opponent doesn't have anything that deals regular damage. Mox Opal no longer taps for red. Welding Jar's fine. That was a pretty big punt. We're not going to play that. Play this. Speed up the clock. Get through these Nexi sooner. Can you believe we stared the Ornithopter in the face and took 6? I'm practically flabbergasted. We can't counter that. That's okay. That's okay. Goyfs are big. Goyfs are big. We can only swing with 1 now, because we'd be dead on the crackback. Seriously! We had so much going on. So much going on. We would have been so far ahead. They're going to do that to survive, but that's okay. Second Tarmogoyf ready to block. Springleaf Drum can resolve. That does give them red mana, which is notable, but that's alright. Think I'm more scared of the likes of Etched Champion. I don't know why they made that attack. Attacks happen. I'm gonna block. Oh, they can animate both. That's why they made that attack. That's why. That makes sense. 6-6 beats 5-6. I think we lost. Looks like it was a successful punt. That's gonna help. We can get in for 5 and chump with the Delver, which I think is the play here. Still dead to Galv Blast. Any removal spell actually also does us in. Colorless spells can be countered. Okay, that's really good. That's really good. Alright, so how do we do 5 to the opponent in one fell swoop? Island, not the card we need. I feel like if we had an additional 6 life, we would have enough leeway to have attacked into the Master a little better. In which case, they probably would have taken an additional 5 and we would have just straight up won. So we totally threw this game away. 100%. Pass to them. If I'm the opponent, I probably just animate these at this point and get in for 6 Infect a turn. That seems pretty good. I need to get better at paying attention to everything that's going on in matches. Opponent disagrees with us. Well, we're going to survive. It's not pretty. Sorry about that, everybody. That is my mistake. That is big time my mistake. Chart a course. Something. Discard that. Do we even... Well, I mean, why not? We'll play the Visions. See what we can do. Alright. Not bad. Bottom that. Bottom that. play a land, go to the opponent. Close. It was close. We punted the game into oblivion, but it was close. Almost had it. Yep. Yep. They're gonna swing. And naturally, I mean, we're gonna be the ones to do our stuff. Bolt here. They're at 2. Let's get another red source so we can cast another burn spell. Oh no. Alright, that was still pretty fun. So we went 1-4. I do recall making mistakes in the first few that ended up putting us to 0-3. So once again, this is a league in which we could have very reasonably gone 3-2 or even 4-1. So there's that. Makes me a little happy that the deck's pretty good. I like the deck a lot. I like both decks. Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed staring at an Ancient Grudge in the graveyard as I took 6 from an Ornithopter, probably screaming through the screen to let me know that on the previous turn I mentioned having Ancient Grudge in my graveyard. And, thanks for watching, anyways. And I hope to see you in the next one, which, if I'm being perfectly honest, misplays like that really give me the drive to go play more Magic, so I might give Wizards some more money immediately and go queue up a league. Just might. Probably. It's kind of weird that when I don't play Magic for a little while, it's like, oh yeah, Magic's fun, but you know, this stuff's fun too. And then I finally get around to playing Magic and I'm like, oh my god, I can't go another week without this. What am I doing? Anyways, see you guys in the next one.